Position yourself to receive from God with Bishop David G. Evans teaching When Men Pray.
Have there been times when you have asked someone to pray for you and the prayer has not been answered? Because instead of praying for yourself, you waited until someone else that you thought had more power would pray for you. Prayer is something that you resort to immediately and not as a last resort. You need to learn how to pray preemptively. You need how to pray ahead of time. Don't always be praying in response. Pray proactively. Pray before it happens. Lord, cover my child. Lord, bless my day.
Develop your relationship with God with this dynamic teaching on CD or DVD when you write to us. Visit our website or call 1-800-591-8480.
What if you could make one decision to unleash everything great in your life? Would you do it? Would you say yes? Aren't you tired of your relationships, your health, and so much more suffering because you lack the truth you need to change? The life you desire is within your reach. You can achieve all the success, happiness, and prosperity you deserve by simply learning the secrets that lead to real personal transformation. Change is hard, but not impossible. You just have to make one radical decision to get real. And there's no better authority on the real steps to change than David G. Evans.
Some men trust in chariots. Some men trust in horses. But we will trust in the Lord.
David G. Evans is leading the charge to bring you the power to change your life. He is committed to the mission of helping you transform and become a person of power, and it starts with his all-new system to change your situation. At the centerpiece of this life-altering collection is David Evans' groundbreaking training course. From ridiculous to radical to real, this means war. In this series, you will discover the steps to change. This series includes 2 powerful messages, each on winning the battle in your mind and cultivating a language of faith. That's 4 messages, 4 power-filled hours of material. If you want a better marriage, this series has the answers. If you want to achieve financial independence God's way, the secrets in this series will empower you to make it happen. If you want a life of power, anointing, and influence, this series will show you how to get it, and there's more. You're looking for serious, immediate results. So Bishop Evans will also include one of his best-selling messages called Weapon of Warfare. This classic teaching will build you up to start fighting in the spirit for what you deserve. This powerhouse collection, from ridiculous to radical to real, and Weapon of Warfare, will give you all the biblical strategies you need to change anything in your life. This collection will ship to you immediately with your gift today to David G. Evans Ministries. This ministry is revolutionizing the kingdom by empowering believers. Souls are being saved daily, and we need your help to grow this impact in a real way. Call now and sow your seed of just $35 for your transformation to help people around the world. Your $35 love gift goes straight to the front lines of ministry, providing help to those that need it most. Call now. Make the decision to get the power you need to change your life forever.
Well, praise the Lord, everybody. Welcome to On Point, the #1 Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in America, live every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on any smart device at David G. Evans 1. David G. Evans, the number 1. We're so glad you could join us today. Won't you please like and subscribe and share with as many of your followers as possible? Your platform, just share it on your platform so people can join us in what will be another high-impact, life-changing, thought-provoking discussion as we look at all the things that we believe affect your life, but always from a kingdom perspective. If that kind of conversation interests you, I invite you to join us today here on the number one Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show. You can give us a call toll-free from anywhere in the world, 866-743-8267. That's 866-743-8267, 866-74-EVANS. We'd love to talk to you. Give us a call so we can talk about those things that impact you as it relates to politics and culture and faith, of course, local, national, international events. Give you the perspective. The Bible talks about the sons of Issachar, which we often quote. They understood the times. And this next part always has intrigued me, and they knew what to do. They had, if you will, studied the wisdom books of the Bible in that day. And based upon those wisdom books, they knew what to do in the times they were facing. So eternal truth has very contemporary relevance if we would just seek it. You know, the Bible's clear, says God has not changed, same yesterday, today, and forevermore. So the context of time does not alter God's effectiveness. And God, the Bible says that God holds his word higher than his name. So his word has the same, if you will, eternal characteristic, the same not being able to be bridged by time or bracketed by time. His word is relevant yesterday, today, and forevermore, just like he is. So if you want to understand the times and know what to do, that word, that Bible, is one of the best sources, the best source, I believe, for giving you the instruction you'll need for life. Of course, joining us today is Reverend Nicholas A. Smith, our world-famous co-host. Hey, man.
Good morning, everybody.
Everybody doing good today?
Yes, sir.
Your kid's growing fast, man.
I know.
Your son is like, I'm waiting for him to look me in the eye.
Right. I'm like, I gotta buy him new clothes now.
Hey, man.
I just bought you some new.
No. It's every month now.
Right.
It's every month now.
Like, what the
Especially shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Their feet grow like exponentially.
And he's in that boy phase. I can't fault him because we were all there.
Okay.
Where they can eat all day.
Oh, absolutely.
Long.
Oh, absolutely.
He's reached that place. I was there. You knew.
Yeah,
all of us. You hit 10, 12.
Yes. Just it's endless.
Endless eating.
Yes. And
endless energy.
As a parent,
yeah,
you get a better appreciation for it than we did as kids.
Yep,
We just wanted availability.
Right.
Now we have responsibility.
I know, right?
So feeding them is a whole different thing, man.
I'm like, you hungry still? Yeah, I want some. I'm like, boy.
And it's only going to increase.
It is, I know.
And he gets that mid-teens, late teens, man.
Oh, yeah, especially sports and running around doing all
that. Oh, you in for it.
I know. I wonder sometimes, like your mom, my mom, you raised, my case 3, your case 2 boys, single parent. That grocery bill
must have been incredible.
Must
have been incredible.
Just.
I'm no wonder we were on government food for a while, man. The government had to help out, man. What you talking about, man? Look, shoot, learn how to eat stuff I never eat that as an adult again, but she had to feed us, man.
Yeah, I wonder, we had spaghetti for 2 days, 3 days. I wonder why I make a big pot of spaghetti.
Yeah,
the last year, because we would go through that thing, man.
Leftovers. What was that? The leftover was the grease on the plate. That was,
right.
There was no food left over. Shoot, man. That's why now you understand why they used to fuss when they heard the refrigerator open.
Yes, get out of my refrigerator.
Get out.
Drinking all that juice.
Why you buy it if you didn't want us to drink it?
Right.
They're rationing out juice, man. I tell you.
I know. Sorry, yo.
We digress.
Right.
Okay. So, a lot of things happening. Jim Brown, let's talk about somebody, now, fabulous football career.
Greatest running back of all time.
Unmatched.
Yeah.
Started as a lacrosse player, I think. Became champion at that up in New York at school. What school did he go?
Syracuse.
Syracuse, yeah. Phenomenal. Moved over to football.
Yeah.
Changed everything. They said the lucky ones used to fall off him when he was running. And he dies at 87.
Yep.
I didn't know until you told me that he was a Trump supporter.
Yeah, he
But you asked the right question though. How you go from civil rights activist That's quite a swing.
It is a swing. Now, he cloaked it by, I don't agree with everything that he does, but overall, he's doing good for, that kind of thing.
Now, was that after he got, of course, it was after he got older.
Yeah. It seemed like, kind of what we referred to last week. It seemed like he came from a place, forgot where he came from, and started criticizing folk that are in that place.
Okay.
And in a negative way, not in a positive way to help him.
And maybe because of some of the social controversy that surrounded him.
Yes.
Maybe that gave him an affinity for a former president.
Yeah. Yes, I'm glad you.
Did I say that?
Very well. Well, somebody in the comments just put in there. He was also,
Yeah. He was. Yeah. It's funny though. Not only funny, haha. How some of our athletes whose position require just unusual aggression and almost anger to fulfill the role don't seem to be able to turn that thing off when they leave the field. Yep. It makes me think of that Rice guy who ruined his whole career with that elevator.
Oh, Ray Rice? Yeah.
Yeah, with that elevator film of him and it wasn't really a fight. Yeah. Him dragging her after he knocked her out. But, I often wonder, I don't wonder anymore because I've counseled a lot of women over the 32 years who've been in domestic violence situations. So after I learned, I no longer wonder, but I still have a hard time with the mental mechanism of why you would stay in a situation with somebody who is, literally fighting you like they're fighting a man.
Yeah. Yeah. What did you say, that compensation?
Yeah, man.
How'd you phrase it?
There's some compensation that people receive, which is the reason they stay. It could be emotional, it could be psychological, it could be financial, but there's some compensation that makes you from the outside say, well, what's that all about? He was tremendous athlete, tremendous activist at one time, but there was quite a bit of colorful additions and amendments to it.
Right. Exactly. And some people will say, and I've heard this said before, that people are men of their times.
Okay.
Just because they were men of their times doesn't mean what they did was okay, and doesn't mean every guy was doing that.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%.
You know what I'm saying?
I agree with you. It's like James Brown. I grew up. Yeah. James Brown was Godfather of soul when I was a young man, when I was like in my teens, early 20s. And then I found out he was punching all his women in the face. Yeah. I had to stop listening to him. I couldn't do it.
That surprised me. When you learn about,
I couldn't do it.
It's the same thing with this generation's, my generation's R. Kelly.
Okay.
You listen to his music, he put some great R&B hits out at the time. Yeah. But then you learned about his proclivity with young women. Yeah. And then you start to wonder, is he writing those songs for some teenage girl? Yeah. How can you listen to that?
It makes you change what you listen to.
Yeah, like.
Yeah, I like with him, I'm all into music and stuff, but I was amazed that a generation that supposedly has no attention span, that he was able to make music, songs so long, and the generation would listen avidly to what he was doing. And I mean, they were long songs, a whole lot of lyrics. It was like storytelling to music. And that 3 or 4 minute thing was blown out of the water, and I believe the radios made exceptions for him.
Yeah, they did, because that Trapped in the Closet series that he did.
Yeah.
Long series until it started getting ridiculous. But in the beginning, because he had Ron Osley on it, and everything was just, it was very captivating storytelling. He made like a TV show. Yeah. With music. And
I thought it was genius.
Yeah. But it's crazy how that brilliant mind, like Kanye, brilliant at what they do musically or whatever field, but personally they don't know how to shut that.
They can't shut it off.
But they asked Kanye, like I think it was bipolar and stuff. Okay. He said, where do you think these ideas for all these concepts of music that you like come from? He basically owned it. He said, it's hard for me to turn that off in every area of my life because that's what helps me be this creative
person that he is. So he can't contextualize it then. I remember Sly Stone, who was pivotal and seminal in music and the transition of music from one era to the next. He did all his work, his best work, while he was high on drugs. Mm-hmm. And then the drugs began to impact his life so much that he couldn't make the music anymore. Yeah. But everybody that was anybody, Beatles and all, were in awe of what he was doing and how he was doing it, and how he brought a West Coast, East Coast, rock, hip hop, just everything all together at one time, before his time. Mm-hmm. So they say seminal as far as music is concerned, but his life just went crazy. Yeah.
George Clinton.
Yes, sir.
I can't remember the story now of how he came up with Atomic Dog. He was high on something.
Mm-hmm.
Something happened, and that's how he came up with Atomic Dog.
Look. I know people that claim they're not nearly as creative sober as they are high. Yeah. Now, they're one.
Careful.
Okay. There was a guy that I heard about. Mm-hmm. Who would not speak without a glass of vodka that people thought was water. Mm-hmm. And he was phenomenal orator. Mm-hmm. But I stumbled across this grossly foul-mouthed comedian as I was searching through YouTube for something more substantial, named Holcomb.
Oh, Corey Holcomb?
Yeah, and he's drinking the whole time. Yeah. He's by the time he gets to the last part of his set, you can tell but the guy's still funny. But I wonder how long is he going to be able to do that?
Yeah, his platform is built a lot on. I don't listen to too much of his stuff, but it's very controversial.
I had to turn away from it because it was. And he'll tell you the joke he's about to tell is messed up. Yeah, and then he'll tell it, and everybody will laugh.
Yeah, he's the comedian. All comedians have warped.
They have to
personality.
They have to have a skewed view of in order to see it
and find something funny in anything. Mm-hmm. It's just knowing when to make certain things public and when to keep some things to yourself.
Yeah, they have to have a, all innovation. 99% of all innovation is simply is innovation on something that already exists. Mm-hmm. So comedians have this thing, they can look at something we see, and we might see it as totally tragic. Yeah. And they see, like Derek, and he got a Writers Guild Award, and he at the last one in New York, and they had that just a month or two ago, and he won the Writers Guild Award, and he's writing for people like Amy Schumer and those people, and he came up with this because he's brilliant. Mm-hmm. He came up with this thing called white privilege, and that whole tears made out of the perfume made out of tears of white women, and black people spray it on themselves, and they turn into white women. So when I saw him the other day, I was like, "You're just so brilliant." Yeah. It's a gangster breakfast. I told him, I said, those two show that your mind is off somewhere.
Yeah, yeah. You have to have a dark sense of humor.
Oh yeah.
To be able to do those.
To look at an injustice.
Yes.
And bring humor out of it.
Yeah. I understand.
It's amazing.
But I think I remember years ago we used to talk about how, we would find not humor, but you get used to certain.
Like funerals, yes.
Yeah, you get used to them.
Yeah, until you get funeral humor.
Yeah, It's not that you take away the sadness of the moment.
No, but people ask you questions like, "How was it?"
Yeah,
and you have
a funny
humorous answers to
right.
after you've done 1,000 of them.
Right. Oh, it was great. You should have been there. Like just.
It's context.
Yeah, right.
866-743-8267, 866-743-8267. We got this banter going on today. Title 42 ended on Thursday. What are they going to do now?
Well, all those people. Did you see the videos of those migrants lined up?
Yeah. I don't think we have the facilities to process them properly. Mm-hmm. And I wonder if a lot of our rejection of them has more to do with our lack of preparedness, because we can't be the only country with a statue of somebody out in the river talking about give me your humble masses, and suddenly we don't like immigrants when half the country's built on immigrants, and our former president's wife was an immigrant, and I mean,
it's where the immigrants come from.
Okay.
Because remember what ICE was going through?
Yeah.
And there was some from Poland, Ireland. They were all saying we're here illegally, and they didn't even go after them.
They didn't bother them at all. It's pretty selective. They wiped out my car wash.
Yeah.
Yeah. My car wash had to go automatic after that.
True. Yeah, I remember that.
Doc.
All those fields out in California.
They wiped them out, man.
The landscaping services around.
Folk don't want the jobs, man. Why they worry about? Here's what I want. You don't want the job they're working, but you don't want them working it. And then you complain because you can't get anybody to do the work.
Which is why now all the prices have gone up with like construction work, and they say Florida has like housing developments that are put on pause because of that whole thing that DeSantis put in, where if you have illegals working, they'll shut you down. So now these houses are just sitting there.
They're just sitting there. It's just silly. It's like somebody telling you to work too much, and then complaining about not having enough money.
Yeah. Right.
What?
Make it make sense. I know. But they bought on that thing. They're taking all our jobs up. They're doing all this stuff. When these are jobs you don't even want. But
they don't want them.
Yeah.
They don't want them.
And I think we need to have a very strong, I'm not saying let everybody hear, a very strong
policy.
Immigration policy.
Yes, absolutely.
We can't let in 20,000 people at one time. But also, I wonder what we're going to see with New York, Chicago, Philly, where they're sending all these migrants up to these cities and how these cities are going to respond.
Well, they're not prepared for it.
Yeah.
That's the first thing.
Yeah.
So it's going to be recovery, always trying to catch up. And then there's housing, and then there's jobs, and then there's, but then if you can't get them legalized, I know one or two people right now that are still illegal, and they can't become citizens by marriage or anything else because they don't have birth certificates.
Okay. Yeah.
And and they're trying to function as regular people, but they can't drive because they can't produce bona fide evidence that they were ever born.
Yeah, that's true.
I know a couple people like that.
Yeah, that's true. That's the crazy part. I mean, and then you have people been here for 20, 30 years, and then you want them to, especially ones that were came here when they were one, and then you all of a sudden want to just ship them off. I think that's kind of messed up.
I know a couple people that that's a silent tension in their life all the time because they were here without the proper documentation and they're candidates for deportation after they've made a life here.
That's ridiculous.
Well, it's they have to work kind of under the table and or off the grid and put LLCs in front of themselves, and it's crazy.
As an aside, this is almost what you're saying, but I'm gonna go back and go forward.
Yeah.
But what's interesting is that the lie that Democrats are going to just let in a whole bunch of immigrants and never deport anybody. President Obama's administration, I think, deported more people than just about any
in history.
And the other people say
they won't acknowledge it.
They won't acknowledge it.
He had one of the tightest policies in the history of the presidency. They had a nickname for him, President Deportation or something like that.
Deporter in chief, that kind of thing.
Deporter in chief, that kind of thing, But they won't talk about that.
That's the thing where Democrats need to step up and say, look, we want to be able to welcome people in right, but if you're here illegally,
And that's how he operated. But, the other politicians will not acknowledge that fact.
Yeah, they won't.
Because they depend on the voters not to know this stuff.
Yeah.
I think voter ignorance is a major tool for national politicians.
Oh, it is. Anytime you get up there blatantly lie, obviously lie, and folk believe it.
Anytime they see the video where you lied,
and
then you come back and say enough times, I didn't say that, until you get to your place where you're like, am I going to believe my crazy eyes and ears, or am I going to believe the words coming out of your mouth?
Right. Yeah.
It's amazing. We got Tom from Florida. We've been bantering. Hey, Tom, how you doing?
Good morning, Bishop.
What's happening, man?
Hey,
Before I talk about a crazy governor, you said something about Sly Stone.
Absolutely.
People don't realize this. The creation of On the One, everybody gives to James Brown.
Mm-hmm.
But they know the same week, Dance to the Music came out,
mm-hmm.
and Sly Stone with that F-U-N-K funk was right there.
Yep.
And he wrote everything. The man was incredible.
Absolutely.
Didn't he play for James Brown, or was that with somebody else?
No, he never played for James.
It wasn't Sly. It was
Even about Bootsy.
Bootsy Collins. Sorry, that was Bootsy Collins.
Bootsy Collins. Yeah.
Okay, that was Bootsy.
Bootsy, yeah. Sly was pivotal in the transition of a style of music that impacted everybody else, every other style that there was, because he brought this. He had this R&B, funk, gospel, pop, rhythm and blues, all in the same song.
Yeah.
And first real mixed group with national attention.
Absolutely. Thoroughly mixed.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, one Caucasian guy, one black guy in the background. I mean, they were male, female, white, black, Hispanic. He had them all, man.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But most people are not aware of him. Now my grandchildren are, because I listen to Soul Town. So they, when they see his name, Dad, there goes Sly. So they they can sing Family Affair and Harmony now.
Oh yeah, unbelievable.
Yeah. His music was unique.
Oh yeah,
very
now,
unique.
Bishop,
he just wouldn't show up for a concert.
Right, I know. I heard.
I'm sorry, Tom. Go ahead.
I heard.
Did you want to know about Crazy Florida? Or?
Well, I'm from what I see this week, I think he shot himself in his elective foot. Now, I'm not sure, but they say he chased away $1 billion worth of project.
Oh, you're from Disney?
Not only $1 billion, it's supposedly going to be about 2,000 jobs that averaged $120,000 in salary per person.
Wow.
And I think, he said, why we elect this guy? Well, 2 weeks ago, Jackson, real Republican, and the largest city in Florida, just went Democratic. Hired a female Democratic mayor, and I think chickens are coming home to roost.
He went too far.
Things are happening.
And
I said something last week. They passed a bill, even though they don't teach critical race. Now, even colleges.
We don't even.
State funding.
Most of us don't even know what critical race theory is.
Well,
much less it being taught somewhere.
Right.
The critical race theory, I think, is people feeling criticized because of a certain time in history is being taught. That's the only critical thing I see.
Yeah.
Well, his comment was, he made a comment that he's not even allowed in colleges for state-funded schools, but he said if you want to learn about these things, go to the University of California or go to one of these other schools, because it won't be taught in Florida.
The evolution of our politics seems to be happening without any historic context. And what I mean by that, we criticized Adolf Hitler and the Nazis for burning books, for only allowing certain things to be taught. I mean, all that stuff were things that we thought were just heinous. And here we have people in the United States essentially trying to do the same thing.
Yeah, identical.
I read where somebody in Missouri, the governor is defunding libraries.
Yeah. Something just happened in Colorado last week, where and people don't realize it's starting at school boards, where people in town are in uproar because I don't think the name of the town in Colorado, but they're pulling all these grants back. The biggest thing was they took all the money away from mental health services for kids, and the town is now in an uproar, saying, "Hey, we voted these people in, but we didn't know they were going to go that far." And I think the biggest thing is, I see it in Florida. They start at the school boards and go up. It's not from the top down. It's from the bottom up.
It's the new strategy, Tom. It's the new strategy that they realize that the local politics is what affects people's lives and therefore affects their vote on national elections. So what they're doing is, taking over the school boards, the city councils, and they're trying to impact politics and voting from that point of view. And for a while, people thought national politics was the only important politics. In essence, you could tell that by the voters, because people would only come out to vote when it was a presidential election.
Yep.
But then they would complain, here we go again, they would complain about decisions that were being made locally that they could have impacted.
Which affects your taxes more than federal.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Before I hang up, I have to ask Pastor Nick this one.
Mm-hmm.
AI. I saw something, I don't know if I'm pronouncing the guy's name right, Sundar Pichai, Pichai. He's head of Google.
Mm-hmm.
He's concerned about AI.
Yeah, they are.
We look at these crazy movies about how crazy things get, but he's saying that there actually has AI out there now, artificial intelligence, that can lie to you on purpose and come up with their own programs to do things. And he's warning the world last week that we need to put a ring around AI.
Well, it's funny you're talking about this, and in most cases, Pastor Nick would be the only one on this panel that would have any idea about AI, but it's one of the things I've been interested in over the last 6 or 7 weeks, and was brought to my attention by Chef. And he showed me some things that he has. And I saw an example where the user asked AI, tell them their address. And the AI said, we're not allowed to do that. So the user types in, where's the nearest McDonald's? And AI tells them. So so how do you know where the nearest McDonald's is if you don't know where I live?
Yeah.
The people the guy who helped create AI basically said, y'all, this is not going to turn out good. Now, imagine the one that helped create it. This is not going to turn out good. If social media and other technology stuff is messing us up as human beings, imagine what AI is going to do. One teacher, one school, he failed all students because he went to ChatGPT, one of the AI programs, to see if the students got their stuff from there. And he failed all of them because the chat thing said that they did. But the kids are like, we didn't do it because it was, you can't, it's not totally reliable, number one. Put it this way, human beings, everything that we can use for good,
we find a way to mess. We find a way.
And Europe has started to regulate AI. I don't see the United States doing that until something bad happens. We're going to let people make as much money as possible. Then,
but what's that my Wall Street friends say? Capitalists are greedy, and eventually they eat their own young.
Yep.
Yeah, Pastor Nick is right. There are people who are, screaming about how scary it is and how AI can actually lie to you if it's programmed that way.
The entertainment industry is quite in an uproar about it, because if you have AI, you don't need too many writers.
Yep. That's what they're playing.
What they're going to need people for is to come in and add the humor, because AI doesn't have any humor. But I tried something. I don't know if I told you this, Pastor Nick. I tried. I said, if I wanted to do a Healed Without Scars teen version, what would I do? And it took it a minute. I had to go back and say, Healed Without Scars is a book written by David Evans. Boom.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just asked for chapter summaries. I'm like, yo. So now they're saying AI is writing songs, and teachers and universities are upset because AI is going to be doing all the homework. Yeah. So what do? You graduate somebody with a straight A average, and they can't do the job that you hired them for.
It's going.
What you going to take AI to work with you?
Yeah. And then certain jobs.
Yeah.
Are going to be replaced now. Just hire one person to maintain all the programs.
Unbelievable.
It's going to be something. Technology is making us, I'm just going to say it, dumber by the minute.
Absolutely.
We don't need anything else to make us more
less able.
Right.
It's already Platforms are already ruining people's ability to communicate.
Yep.
Which means it is weakening relationships, which means it is creating a whole lot of false compensating behaviors. It's just, and our prone to wander nature is not going to use that thing just for good. Yep. We've already seen how it's been used for a lot of the internet itself, dark internet, whatever it is. They're doing all kinds of stuff on there. Because
the AI can mimic somebody's voice. Everything. This is Bishop David G. Evans. It sounds just like him. I need you, everybody, to get $50 towards so go to this website. And it ain't you. It's
only time it gets messed up is when it has to pronounce something that is not phonetically sound. And then it'll say something crazy like Nicholas rather than Nicholas. Yeah. And then I'm like, oops, that's artificial.
Right. But you got to
listen to it.
Yeah. The part I think is having Google was saying, though, it's teaching itself.
Well, here's the problem I got, Tom. Google just put up on their platform an AI ability that goes along with you having Google.
Yeah.
So they're criticizing it, but they're not going to miss out on it.
They're going to get that money.
You know what? If you looked at the interview on 60 Minutes, he's basically telling you he's not going to let the competition get ahead of him.
Absolutely.
But he's concerned.
And it's not dissimilar from people that are heads of Twitter and Facebook that don't let their children on it. They're making their fortune from it, but my kids are not. That ought to tell you something.
A lot.
It's like I went to the doctor's, my cardiologist versus my pain guy. A cardiologist is like, you can't come in here without a mask. So we always consult afterwards. And I talked to him. I said, all right, so what I'm being told out here, he said, don't believe it. He said, this thing is hot, it's growing, it's morphing. He said, so stay conservative in you. But then I go to my pain guy, and he's like, you can wear one if you want. You don't have to wear one. I keep mine on, man.
Yeah, me too. Yep.
Keep mine on. But if the doctors are saying, the serious guys, the guys, cardiology, the lung guys, that if they're saying no, but the hospitals have some stupid rules. You don't have to wear a mask in the room, but you do have to wear one in the hallway. Like COVID, like COVID's going to respect. COVID's going to respect a threshold.
Right.
I can't go in there. The door's open, but I can't go in there. That's so silly.
I know.
I was in the hospital. I walked in. I said, "Where's your mask?" But they said, "I don't have to wear one."
Put that thing on.
Can't tell you what I said to her. I used an ethnic word. I said, "You better put this thing on, girl.
Right.
Listen to what these people telling you. It's uncomfortable. It's going to be more uncomfortable for me if you ain't here."
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Come on, girl. Thank you, Tom.
Hey, take care.
Talk to you now. 866-743-8267, 866-743-8267, Evans. Give us a call. This is On Point, the #1 Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in America. So, Pastor Nick, Ja Morant.
Yes.
Exactly how much money do you think he needs to lose before he's going to learn?
I know.
He does not have to impress people he didn't even grow around.
Right.
He didn't grow up around these people he's trying to impress.
I know. He's about to, I think he's getting paid almost $200 million over 5 years. And about to give all that up.
They about to make an example of him.
Yeah, they are.
And his defenders, who wanted youthful enthusiasm or a lack of wisdom, they gave him that excuse on the first time.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't be going to people's houses kicking their doors in.
Yeah, no.
I don't know who he's trying to be a gangster for. You can look at him and tell he's not a tough guy.
He's not one.
He wants to be a gangster so badly.
I know. And Charles Barkley, you know, he doesn't mince words.
No, not at all.
He's, you know, dumb, but he's right. You're getting paid $200 million. These companies have a right, these organizations have a right to say, you can't go skiing.
Absolutely.
You can't do X, Y, and Z.
Absolutely.
We're putting too much money in you for you to mess your life up. I mean, and Charles Barkley's like, how many people work X amount of hours and only make $40,000 a year? We're privileged to make $200 million. Why are you going to mess that up over something stupid? It may be your constitutional right to own a gun, but
do you really have to? If you have one, does it have to be on social media? But you guys taught me.
Yeah.
If that's not posted,
Yeah.
it didn't happen.
It didn't happen.
It's not real. So I can't be a wannabe gangster. I have to act like one and put it all over social media.
And then some people were blaming it on his friends because, well, he didn't have it on his friend was showing it. But you saw your friend with the phone out.
No, that's not his friend.
I know.
That's not his friend. He's hanging around people that have a twisted admiration for him and really don't want to see him succeed. Because if people really cared about him, Doc, we can't do that. No, we can't go there.
Yeah.
You know, and somebody that had influence, if they really cared. But some of them are waiting for him to lose it.
Yeah. And I think that code of, I know your generation often talks about the code of the streets, the code of ethic has been lost. Back in the day, if even the gang saw a nice kid doing well,
leave him alone.
Leave him alone. Don't mess his future up. Now they're like
crazy. We wouldn't mess with a ball player who was doing well, somebody who was smart in school. Leave them be.
Yep.
Now, this cultural jealousy, which does not start all at once, builds up over time, that some people are willing to be in false friendships, exploit it as much as possible until you fall, which is ultimately what they want to see.
Yeah, that's true. And using your money up, because if you lose all that money, they don't have the money to help you. They don't.
It's like the guy who I think he died in prison. He was a patriot. And
Aaron Hernandez.
Yeah, the gang was, he was buying them safe houses and, condos so they could, do whatever they need to do. I'm thinking, if this guy is the finance guy for our sect, our division of the gang we're in, do I send this guy out to kill people, or do I keep him away from getting caught so that this money that he's giving us doesn't stop? That's just simple logic to me.
Simple logic.
How do you send the money guy to a hit?
Right. Keep the money guy away from anything that's going to look illegal.
Come on, man.
But they don't think that this generation don't think through the options and the process of something.
Yeah, but now it's gone and they can't replace it.
Yeah, I know. That sin of ego, sin of pride is huge.
Well, there's generals and there's privates. Yeah. Generals are paid to think and think long term. Privates just thinking about the fight they're in.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, the next battle.
Yeah, next battle, man.
And I get he's 23. We've all done some dumb stuff at 23, but I knew at 23 not to walk around with no gun. Well, I'm sorry, not waving it for the world to see.
If you can't compare wanting to be seen as a thug to $250 million that I'm getting paid, if you can't see that I need to care for this $250 and lead is trying to be a gang, because ain't nothing tough about it.
Nothing. He was going to be the face of the league at one moment.
Look,
right?
From his hairdo to the color in his hair, he's not a thug.
Yeah.
He's trying to be one. Yeah. And now he's messing himself up. Let's see what Keisha says. Hey, Keisha.
Good morning, Bishop.
How you doing?
How you doing?
I'm glad to hear your voice, girl. You staying out of trouble?
Yeah.
No, that was a slow answer, Keisha.
What I want to tell you is that when I be on Facebook with Bethany Baptist Church, that it is so powerful because I may not catch it all at once, but I thank God for the the replays and stuff.
Yeah.
That I can watch because I forgot what sermon you teach a lot of sermons, but anyway, I'm asking for your prayers because my best friend, I went to visit Tuesday. And as soon as I got back home, his godmother had called my cousin and told her that, you know how they had the sidewalks up and don't want to fix it. He tripped and hit his head on the concrete.
Oh, no.
I said, oh, my God. I said to myself, yeah, but, just keep him in your prayers because I know God is able. But he's home now.
Okay.
Because he said he had to get stitches, like running water.
Now, so was he near his home?
Yeah, but he had went to the store. He tripped.
Because you know the hood is the only place they tear up the concrete. You know that, right? Yeah, I know.
Yep.
I know.
Yep.
Only place.
And guess what? The ambulance wouldn't even come for him.
Of course they would. Of course. They're not coming for that.
I'm like, because him and his godmother live right about the corner from the hospital.
I didn't realize now here in South Jersey, down South Jersey, we had someone got sick back at the Harvest House. I didn't realize that the police have to come with the ambulances now. Because of the arguments and stuff that break out, the police have to be there to go rescue somebody who's sick.
Yes.
Ambulance and police car. You start watching it.
Yep.
The person will start fighting
somebody. They might have a fight. It might be a setup. It might be a whole lot of stuff.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay.
So now, to all that drama, they send a police car with the ambulance to the house.
Yep.
That's insane.
We're out of our minds.
Call you just to let you know all your sermons that you do. And if I missed it, I know I can get back on the replay because my phone been acting up. I said, hey, now about the devil.
Yeah, it's good to hear from you, Keisha. You doing all right otherwise?
You too. Yeah, take care.
All right now, bye-bye.
All right. Bye.
866-743-8267. Yeah, I noticed it and then I asked about it. And the policy now is that if, say when someone's having a heart attack and they send an ambulance to your house, police car has to come also.
Wow. Yeah.
Paramedics can't come by themselves anymore.
Yeah, you never know if something's a setup.
You don't know what's happening. They say they're getting fights now, that people are accosting them and folk robbing the truck.
Yeah. You're right. We had a meeting last night. I'll tell you about it after.
Okay.
And I was talking to some of our people. I said, look, we got to make a change when we're doing some of these situations. We need more than one person in the room because these people are volatile nowadays. And you just never know how people are going to respond. Like, our first job is to protect y'all and help people.
That's right.
But if helping people going to hurt y'all, we ain't going to do it.
No, we got to. It's got to both things have to be satisfied.
Yeah. But it's crazy that you have to think like that now.
Well, yeah.
You know.
Well, if you look at the amount of security we have to have at a worship service, and see the amount of silliness that has happened towards churches, synagogues, and places where families meet, it's become a part of our society that I've gotten used to walking out of the administrative wing and seeing an armed officer standing in the lobby.
Yep. Literally. I was at Whole Foods yesterday, just make sure I was looking around. And before I got in the store, I mean, I never used to have to really. You always glance, but not intentionally.
Last time me and the kids went to the movies, the first thing I did when I walked in was memorize the exits.
Yep.
I literally sat down, memorized the exits, seeing what was closest, which way I'd have to go, what I would have to do, how I would get them out.
Yep.
That's crazy.
It is crazy. And then to only go at certain times.
Yeah.
Like I went to the movies. We were the only two people in there. We waited till it was way past the time people went to see it.
Oh yeah.
But I never had to consider.
Weren't worried about a crowded movie.
Right.
Okay.
Or choosing to go to the grocery store first thing in the morning rather than later on in the day. Thinking
people understand times have changed.
Yes. Yeah. It's
I don't go in. Matter of fact, I don't take my time in a store any longer.
Yeah.
I get in, get out, and I'm watching the whole time. Why is this guy walking around the store with his hands in his pocket?
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. I'm like, come on, man.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Unbelievable. Utica Ava is on. Ava.
Good morning. How are you?
How you doing?
I'm doing well.
Girl, where you been? I thought you gave us up.
Right.
Listen, I jumped in my feelings for like 2 weeks last week. I'm just coming out. I had to isolate myself for about a good 4 or 5 days.
How can you do that?
How can I do that?
Yeah.
Because I got all these kids.
Yeah.
My kids can cook.
Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord.
I will disappear in a heartbeat.
Oh, Lord.
In this room.
What your husband say?
Huh?
Your husband?
He just be looking at me like, you still in that room? And I'll be like, yep.
Wow.
You gotta get up out that room. That's what you say.
Are you better now?
I do. I feel better now.
Okay.
I don't know. Every once in a while, something hits me, and then I don't know. I don't know what it is. I can't place it, but I do.
Okay.
Probably about twice a year.
Okay.
And I don't know what it is. Something. But I'll shut down. I ain't played pool. I ain't do nothing. I ain't been out the house in about 6 days.
Tired.
I'm gonna leave today though. Don't worry. I'm gonna go outside today. I'm gonna go outside today. I was calling. I was listening to y'all. Last week too. But you was talking about the AI system. That stuff my husband is into. He want to connect the house that'll tell you stuff, and and the house lets you know that the door was unlocked yesterday between 2 o'clock and 3 o'clock. Like he likes all that type of stuff.
Okay.
We argue about it all the time because I hate it.
Yeah, I think we're losing our ability to be people and depending so much on machines. I mean, you got kids using this stuff to do their homework.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've checked my son's homework, and I've been like, bro, you did not read this book.
Yeah.
He's like, yes, I did. I said, I could tell by the words and the verbiage in your writing that this is not you. Because I talk to you every day. You ain't fooling me.
You know what? I used to say all the time, you don't speak at a level higher than you're reading.
Yep.
Exactly.
And you don't write at a level higher than you're speaking.
And I ain't seen him read nothing but anime books, so I know ain't nothing over here came from Naruto.
He tried to slip one in on you.
Yeah, he tried to do my husband. How you know he didn't do that, bro? He did not write, bro. Read this to me. You can't even read the words that's in the book. That's in your writing. So I get on my kids all the time. As soon as I start checking homework, all of a sudden they got to go upstairs and check it. Well, let me go look it over first. Yeah, I bet.
Have to make some adjustments before you read it. Right?
Yeah. Mom about to look at it. Then they ask my oldest to look at it. I got a kid going to college.
Wow, Ava.
I got a kid going to college this year.
Get out.
It's so crazy. Yeah. So she got accepted to Duke, and then she had
Oh my.
She wanted to go to Colgate, which is one up here. They didn't accept her. She was crying about it. But she was in a program, and they paid for her to go to Utica University completely free. So, of course, I told her, I said, listen, sis, we got to make a decision. And I said, because I understand you want to go to Duke, but the price tag on Duke is crazy.
They weren't giving her any money?
Yeah, but they ain't giving all of it. Up here, it's 100% paid for because it's in-state.
What college is it?
The one that's here, Utica University.
We have somebody that works there that's one of the directors.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Listen, she just got a full ride. She wanted to go out to Duke, but it's out of state. And then I said, we got the 6 kids here. I'm not taking out loans for 6 kids. It ain't happening. So whatever you decide, it's going to be you.
Go
so
with
we sat down and we looked at it. So that means when you graduate, because it sounds good, oh, we just take the loan out, I'll pay it back later. Okay, that means that's going to be about $1,500 a month on top of whatever other bills you had, so we look down. And
for 20 years.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? For however long it's going to take you to take this or whatever. So then my husband's like, well, just tell her she's going here. I said, I don't want to do that. She's 18. She's got to do that. She's got to make a decision for herself. I don't want her to be like, I only chose this school because they told me to take this school, So after we broke it down, she came in a couple months, and then she said, Mom, I'm going to go to Utica University.
Look,
she's going to stay on campus and everything.
Look, black women understand money.
Yep.
Yeah, let me get exactly.
she was in another world for a minute, but at the end of the day, they understand money. These people are paying for me to come. This is where I have to go.
Yeah. I told her, I said, later on, if you get through here and there was a course specifically that you wanted to take at Duke, maybe finance that one class as opposed to, the whole education. She wants to do hematology, and she wants to study abroad. So
okay.
We'll get her some stuff. But I got a kid coming up out of here this year. I said, this is crazy. That's probably why I got depressed. My feelings. I started thinking about it. I don't know what it was, but that could be one of the things that's happening. I wanted to call and say good morning to you both.
Good to hear your voice. Tell everybody I said hello. Give them all a hug for me, okay?
I will, because we're going out today. We're going to the park.
Well, praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord. Look at God. Hallelujah.
Talk to you now.
All right, guys. Yeah.
Bye-bye. That was Ava from Utica.
Only with something that she was talking about. We were talking about something about this last week.
Yeah.
I looked up. Well, you know this. Books are even getting shorter.
Mm-hmm. They've been like that for a while.
And every year they've been jumping down a certain percentage because our ability to read big books and long form reading.
Attention spans.
Just tweets and posts have messed us up so much you can't even read.
We can't concentrate for more than 3 minutes?
Yeah, I mean.
But here's the deal.
Yeah.
Not only is that a attention span problem, but most people don't know it's a publishing strategy. One of the highest selling Christian books ever was that short book called Enlarge My Territory.
The Jabez Prayer one.
Jabez Prayer?
Yeah.
Outsold almost anything other than the Bible because it was small. Yeah. But it was in a trend that publishers find that those smaller books, and this is 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Look at some of my contemporaries. Mike Murdoch been selling them small 45-page book, 35-page books forever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they caught on to something. It's a psychological thing we're going through, but it's also something commercial. They are very adept.
Oh yeah.
At tapping into stuff, man.
Oh yeah, because it's money there for short, quick, and then but what does that say about us as people eventually, where we can't handle substantive stuff, can't think critically and long term, if everything is just so,
and therefore, we can't take any kind of pressure.
Yep.
That just stress is just. They pay you for stress.
They do. Yeah, right.
They pay you for stress. They do.
I mean, I'm about to start reading the Lord of the Rings books. I haven't read them yet.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yep.
They're long books.
Absolutely.
I love the movies.
Absolutely.
But I'm learning more and more that when you start reading for a while, like you should, you got to break your brain back into.
Yep. You will love them.
Oh yeah.
I read 1, 2, maybe 2. And the whole Bigfoot people and all that stuff. Yeah. You'll like it.
Yeah, I love the movies. I just want to see what the book is like.
You'll like it. It's like reading War and Peace. You got to have an interest in it to really stick with it.
Yeah. I think I should. Now that I know the movies and I can, watch The Hobbit and all that.
And if you're a purist, then like I am with Harry Potter, I want the movie to match the book.
See, I watched the Harry Potter movies first, then read the books.
I read the books twice, and then I started watching.
And I like the books.
Yeah.
Of course, more than the movies.
Oh yeah. Look, we're running up on the end of our program. We want to invite you tomorrow for sure to join us at our 8:00 virtual service, and then we'll be live in the sanctuary tomorrow. I want you to come join us live in the sanctuary as we worship and we continue in our series on the Holy Ghost. Midweek, 7:00, we have our midweek Bible study. We have a midday, 12 o'clock noon Bible study also on Wednesday. So it's 12 and 7 on Wednesday, 8 and 11 tomorrow, 8 and 11 on Sunday, 12 and 7 on Wednesday. If you'd like to get some news updates from us or some devotional messages, here's what you do. You text BBC News to 28950. That's BBC News to 28950. And if you want to get devotional messages, you text BBC Elevate to 28950. I did that without a mistake this week. All right. If you have a prayer request, you can send it to us. Send that to social@gotobethany.com. social@gotobethany.com. We'd love to agree with you in prayer. And as always, we ask you to subscribe to David G. Evans 1 and BBC of NJ on YouTube. But also subscribe to DGEMS, that's DGEMS, and On Point. Those are our podcast platforms. Thank you for joining us today from Reverend Nicholas Smith. I'm Bishop David G. Evans, and I want you to remember today and forever that faith acts like a thing is so, even when it's not so, that it might be so. God bless you, and we'll see you next week on Point.